Alright, so this is the math review for, the final review for pre-cal. I'm trying this again, hopefully with sound. So we're starting with number 1. What transformations convert the parent quadratic function to the function graph below? Well, there is a shift to the right of 4. So in the parentheses, shift to the right would be a minus 4. Don't forget this is quadratic, so it should be squared. There's a shift up of 2. There is a reflection because it's opening down, so there's negative. And if you'll notice, it's not 1 to 1. It takes a half to go over 1, so it's going to be 1/2. So it's a vertical shrink, compression. Number 2, find the vertex and the y-intercept of the parabola. So the vertex and the y-intercept come from putting x is equal to negative b over 2a. And when you do that, the negative b comes from that 8, and the 2 times the a would be 2 times 2. So it would be negative 8 over 4, which would be negative 2. You could plug that in, and you're going to get a negative 11. And then the y-intercept, if this goes to 0 and this goes to 0, would be negative 3. You can do all of this on your calculator, which I totally recommend because you're going to use it on the final. So you go to your y equals, and you put in 2x squared plus 8x minus 3. You hit graph. You can see your intercepts there. Oh, I'm sorry. You can see the vertex there, and you can also see your y-intercept right there. Go to your table. There is your y-intercept, and your vertex, whoa, right there. You can see the mirror image, 7, 7, negative 3, negative 3, negative 9, there's your vertex, negative 2, negative 11, which is what we got there. You would do the same thing for 3, plug in your calculator, you still get x is equal to negative b over 2a. Our b happens to be a negative 8. Our a is a negative 2. So it would be a positive 8 over a negative 4, which is still negative 2. Again, put in the calculator, get the same answer. Line of symmetry, the x part of the vertex, comes from right there. Number 4, write this as a product of 2 factors. Again, put it in your y equals, get your 2 solutions from where it crosses. Y equals, and then you have x squared minus 2x minus 48. So there it is right there. Hit graph, and you can see one, and you can see the other. No problem. You can also get them from the table. Or you could just know that 48 is 6 and 8. And we want a negative 6, a negative 8 and a positive 6, so x is equal to negative 6 and x is equal to positive 8, and that's exactly what you got on your calculator. Alright, number 5. Find f of g of x. So you're going to plug in all of this into the x. It's going to go right there. So plug in x squared plus 1. So you've got some distribution to do. So 2 times x squared is 2x squared, and 2 times 1 is 2. You can't do anything past that. It's done. Can't take any roots. Alright, number 6. What are the solutions to the equation? First of all, everything has to be on the left side. X squared plus 2x minus 120. And again, you can do the math yourself, or you can plug it into your calculator. X squared plus 2x minus 120. Put in the calculator, hit graph, And your two solutions are, oh, there's one way over here. Alright, you can always zoom out. Oh, sorry. Zoom out and see the hits twice. You can also go to the table and see your zeros. There's one there, negative 12, 0. And 10, 0. And you could also do the factoring. 10, 12, plus, minus, your choice. Alright, number 7. What is the y-intercept? Y-intercept is when x is 0. So plug in 0, so a negative. 0 plus 3 squared times 0 minus 4 squared. So that's 3 squared times negative 4 squared. 3 times 3 is 9. Negative 4 times negative 4 is a positive 16. And 9 times 16 gives you a negative 144. Okay, use the graph to find g of f of 2. So first you got to find f of 2. So if you go up from 2, f of 2 is 1. Now we're going to take that 1 and we're going to plug it into g. So g of 1 is a negative 3. And that's the answer. Number 9. Which polynomial does not divide equally into x minus 1? You can easily plug this into calculator and find it, or you could do synthetic division, your choice. If you do synthetic division, let's look at that first one. We'll do the first one together. 1, negative 5, 5, 5, negative 6. And remember, you're plugging into a positive 1. So drop down the 1. 1 times 1 is 1. That's a negative 4. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. That's positive 1. 1 times 1 is 1. That's 6. 1 times 6 is 6. That's 0. So they want to know which one does not. A does. You do the same thing for the next one. Again, plugging in a 1. 1 times 1 is 1. That's negative 1. Negative 1, that's negative 20. Negative 20, that's 0. Again, that works. Alright, last one. You have 2, negative 1, negative 13, negative 6. Drop down the 2. That's 1. Negative 12. Negative 18. There's your answer. Number 10, you're solving by square roots. So you subtract 39 both sides. So 2x squared is equal to negative 16. Divide by 2. X squared is equal to negative 8. Take the root. X is equal to, now the negative, square root of negative 1, that is I. Okay. 8, split that up, that's 4 times 2. This is a perfect square. So it's 2I square root of 2. That 4 comes out, and then that 2 stays in the radical. That is the first page. Now with volume.